Trees, don't whisper. It was supposed to be a weekend unwind. Just two guys, a couple of tents, a cooler full of beer, and no self-service. A retreat from the noise. That's what Ryan kept telling himself as he looked out the passenger window of Ben's beat-up Subaru, the forest canopy thickening with every mile they drove into Black Hollow National Preserve. "We'll park near the trailhead and hike up to Clearwater Ridge," Ben said, his enthusiasm palpable. No people, no service, no problems. They parked around noon. Sky overcast, air still. Ben shouldered his pack like a soldier. Ryan, less enthusiastic, struggled with his. "We should have waited till spring. It's still freezing out here." "Quit whining. This'll be great." It was not great. The trail markers were already scarce by the first hour. The trees were unusually close, their trunks mottled with black moss, and there was this faint humming in the air, like far-off machinery, but deeper, almost like growling. They hiked in silence. No birds, no wind, no chatter from other hikers. Ryan kept looking over his shoulder. By late afternoon, the trail had all but vanished. The GPS on Ben's phone was useless. "It says we're in the middle of a lake," he muttered. "No signal." Ryan asked. Ben shook his head. "Nothing." They set up camp in a clearing surrounded by impossibly tall pines, the bark of which looked scorched at the base, as if they'd been burned in a fire that never made it past their roots. Ryan lit a fire while Ben tried to boil water. The pot tipped. The fire sputtered. Mosquitoes came early. Then the whispers began. Ryan sat bolt upright around midnight, shaking Ben awake. "You hear that?" Ben blinked. "What?" "Voices. Around the tent. Just listen." They held their breath. For a moment, there was nothing. Then, almost imperceptibly, "Help down here. Lost cold. Stay forever." Ben unzipped the tent, flashlight in hand, and stepped into the dark. The beam revealed only trees. Still, silent. No wind. No leaves rustling. No birds. "I don't like this," Ben said. "Let's go back tomorrow." Ryan nodded. Morning was no better. The path they'd come in on was gone. Not overgrown. Gone. Even the footprints they'd left near the clearing had vanished. Ben tried to backtrack, using a compass. The needle spun erratically. By noon, they realized they were walking in circles. The trees all looked the same, scarred at the base, reaching forever upward. Then came the fog. It rolled in without warning. Thick, low, like the ground was exhaling. Ryan stumbled into a shallow pit filled with wet leaves and twisted sticks. When Ben pulled him out, they found a small animal skull lodged in the mud. Still fresh. Still red. They didn't speak much after that. The whispers returned that night. Louder. More desperate. "Don't leave us. It's so cold. You'll see it soon." Ben woke to Ryan gone. Panic surged. He followed footprints through the underbrush for nearly 20 minutes until he found Ryan standing perfectly still, barefoot, staring up into the trees. "Ryan." Ryan didn't respond. Ben shook him. Ryan blinked, as if waking from a dream. I was in my sleeping bag, and then I was here. I saw something. In the trees." "What?" "Eyes. A face. Watching." Ben looked up. Only trees. But they weren't alone. Something was moving just at the edge of visibility, always behind trunks, always too far to make out. That's when Ben saw him, across the clearing, just for a second, barely visible through the fog. A tall man in a dark coat and a wide-brimmed hat, standing perfectly still between two trees, watching them. "Hey!" Ben shouted. The figure didn't move. He blinked, and the man was gone. They sprinted back to camp, only to find their gear torn, cooler contents strewn across the ground. Tent collapsed like it had been trampled. No animals around. That night, they huddled by a pathetic fire, backs to each other. Ryan mumbled in his sleep, sweating through his jacket. Don't let it in, not again." Ben didn't sleep. Ryan was getting worse. He said he couldn't tell if he was dreaming anymore. Said something was inside the woods. Not an animal, not a person. "It's wearing the forest like a coat," he whispered. "Pretending." They wandered deeper, hoping for a road, a ranger station, anything. Around dusk, they stumbled upon a tree that didn't match the others. It was massive, blackened, and hollow, with strange symbols carved into the bark. Beneath it, bones. Dozens, human and animal, arranged in spirals. Ben pulled Ryan back. "We have to go. Now." But as they turned, the fog returned, thicker this time. The path behind them was gone. Again, Ben screamed in frustration. Ryan just stood there, mumbling, "I think we're not supposed to leave." It wasn't until early morning of the fifth day that they heard a voice, clear, human. "Boys." They stumbled toward the sound like dying men crawling to water. There he was, a tall man in a heavy wool coat, wide-brimmed hat shadowing his face. He held a lantern that burned with a strange, cold blue flame. "You're not where you should be," he said. Ben collapsed in relief. Ryan just stared, wide-eyed. "Who are you?" "Someone who knows this forest better than it knows itself." He led them in silence, through trees that seemed to move out his way. Paths unfolded that hadn't been there before. The fog receded as he walked. They exited the forest near a maintenance road. A ranger station sat half a mile down. The man tipped his hat. "You'll be safe now." Before they could thank him, he was gone. Just gone. Like he had never been there. A ranger said they were lucky. Said people get lost all the time up in Black Hollow, but not many are found. Ben asked if he knew a tall man in a coat and hat who helped hikers. The ranger paled. "We stopped sending people into that part of the woods years ago, after the disappearances. But yeah, stories go back decades, about a man in a wide-brimmed hat who shows up when the forest gets hungry." Ryan didn't say a word. He just stared into the trees, lips moving silently. Ben caught just one phrase. "It's wearing the forest like a coat."